All right, we're rolling. This is gonna be the first YouTube video I post. Try to keep about 10-20 minutes long, try to. We post about 1 to 2 times a week. That might change. Definitely every weekend, maybe during the week, depending on kind of what happens. But definitely once a week for sure. This video, I'm gonna be talking about my whole story from the beginning up until this very moment of me sitting on this beach in Koh Samui, Thailand. Didn't think I'd be saying that. So yeah, I'm gonna be posting once a week, and then at the end of this video, I'll tell you guys what I'll be talking about in the future videos. So to start, my name is Joe Story. I grew up in a small town in Illinois, about 10,000 people, very rural area. Had a great childhood, had a loving family. Had an older brother, 3 years older. His name's Justin. Have a cousin who is basically my brother. I call him my brother. We'll always call him my brother. His name's Luke. We were the same age. He's 6 months older than me, and he lived in the same hometown, about 10 minutes away. So we were always super close growing up. Childhood was great. Really like any child, man. I love sports, love being outside. I love just being social. Always had a super outgoing personality. Never gave a fuck what people said or thought about me. Could talk to anyone, bring up conversation. Like, I was as social as hell. That's how I've always been. It's how I always will be. So that happened. That's how my childhood was. Super good. Again, loved it. Wasn't rich, wasn't poor. Had a very middle-class family. Yeah, childhood was good. Luke and I always were super close. And so were me and my brother Justin. But me and Luke were the same age, so just got along better. And he always had sleepovers. He lived close by, always hanging out. Always together. Everyone thought we were twins growing up. Actually, we still get it till this day. But again, childhood was fantastic. That was up until, I would say, high school. I should say this too. When I was younger, one thing I really noticed about myself is I had a weird obsession with money. Like, I used to ask my mom, hey, can you take me to the rich neighborhoods? Or hey, can you drive me by the mansions in the area? Like, I always had a weird obsession with money. I actually recall a memory. My dad worked for a construction company, and he had brought the head honcho of the company over. I don't know if he's a CEO or what he was, but he brought him over in our garage and had a couple of beers with him. And the first thing I asked when I saw him was, hey, are you rich? I don't know why. I always had an obsession with money. Also had an Uncle Dave. He's a doctor, which this will all, Luke, Uncle Dave, this will all tie back into the story. My Uncle Dave, he was a doctor, and he makes great money, super inspiring, great guy, and he was kind of left an imprint on me. He was a doctor. I saw the money he made. Well, I didn't see the money he made, but I saw he always had nice houses, nice cars. He built a house in Colorado, had a nice family. Like, he was just a good guy. Good, had a good job, just a good overall dude, and super inspiring. So that left an imprint on me was, hey, I want to go to medical school when I'm older, which again will tie back into the story. But that money thing, that was a weird thing about me when I was young. So fast forward through grade school up until high school. Again, everything was good. Made a lot of friends. Still talk to some this day I'm super close with. Played sports. Again, still super social. Like, nothing really changed. Had a great childhood. Love it. I probably said that a little too many times in this. But high school hits. So COVID hit my sophomore year. When I got into high school, changed a little bit in a way of started just, high school, partying, drinking, going out, kind of dabbling with new things. Nothing crazy, but, just going out more. And I say I became even more social in high school. Like, I always just wanted to make people laugh, go out, make great memories with my friends. I would just drop anything to go do something fun. Like, I just wanted to go out, explore, just be social. Like, that's just what I wanted to do. So COVID hits. Now, me and Luke, I had a couple girlfriends on and off throughout high school. So me and him weren't as close throughout high school because I would be with my girlfriend. We didn't hang out as much, yada, yada. But when COVID hits, that's where me and him started to sort of veer off in a different direction. Me and him, I recall how many times we would literally get Subway, go down into his basement, put down a fucking foot long, and find ways to make money online. Like, we would just talk about it, whether it was like drop shipping, we'd do like research, take down notes. We would just find a bunch of different ways to make money online. That was like the first kind of pinnacle point when we started to really like veer off a little bit. Anyways, go back to school, back in person. We're all like masked up and shit. I kind of get back onto the route. You know what? I'm going to go to medical school. I know, make a good living from it. I am interested in the body and like science, which I still am. Still think is pretty cool to this day. And Dave, again, inspired me a ton. So that's what I was going to do. I was set in medical school. Boom. Rest of high school goes on. I'm still very social. I'm still partying, like having fun. Like life was great. Life was honestly good. Graduate. Okay, we have a community college in our area. I'm going to go to this community college for 2 years, do the gen eds or whatever, and then go on to, finish out my degree with medical school, do the whole thing. So I go to medical school for I go to college, my community college for 6 months. Decided, hey, fuck this. I hate school. This is not for me. I can't stand this. At the same time, after he graduated, Luke, he went to lineman school down in Florida, in Daytona Beach, which will also tie back into the story. He goes to Daytona Beach, lived there for like 4 months, got like certified out there to become a lineman, and then he moves back. So when he moves back around the same time, I believe, I dropped out of college. I literally walked out of my classes on Friday and resigned from all my classes Monday. Like I was done. I'm like just literally walked right out of class. I was like, fuck this. College is done. Still want to make money. Only way I knew how to make money, like really know how to make money. I had ideas online, but I didn't really know how. But how I really knew how to make money was a 9 to 5, like through an education or trades. My dad was a construction worker. I know I can make money doing construction. I had a buddy at the time who was welding at a factory, which I ended up hitting him up about it. He helped me put a word in. Thank you, Ozzy. And I got a job in the factory, started welding. So they paid me to learn, and then I learned how to weld, and I welded there for 14 months. Got to speed this up, sun's going down. Welded there for 14 months. Luke moves back. He works in the area. Like, he was going to do like his apprenticeship, and I think this is right. Join his apprenticeship and climb up to be a lineman in our hometown. And he was going like hours away and testing for linemen in different unions, I think, and stuff. Kind of forget how this shit even works. But that's how that happens. At the same time, when I'm working welding, I have a buddy named Brett. I saw his Instagram, and he's like boxing, and I hit him up. I'm like, hey, like this looks awesome. And after high school, I wasn't competing in anything. And I think competition is just great in something. So I was like, hey, what is this kickboxing shit about? Like, I want to get into this. Joined a gym. I trained MMA, did like jiu-jitsu tournaments, exhibition boxing matches. Like, it was fantastic. I love combat sports. Did that for about a year and a half. After the year and a half of welding, at some point in there, or 14 months, whatever it was, Luke quit his job in our hometown and moved out in August. I think this is 2023 or 2024. 2023, I believe. Moved out from our hometown and moved to Oklahoma with our uncle that lives out there. He stayed with him from August to December. In December, he comes back, and he got into jiu-jitsu out there as well. He comes back. We go back to the ring, the gym that I train at. We sparred, got like a workout in, rolled and everything. And I have a distinct memory. It's like a core memory for us. We're sitting on the edge of the ring, and he's like, hey, I found a way to make money online. Seems legit. Blah, blah, blah. It was selling life insurance online. Done. So I'm sold. I quit my job on this, literally the next week. And I moved to Oklahoma with Luke. We get an apartment together. He moves out of our uncle's house, and we get an apartment together. It's run-down apartment, like 700 square foot. Just it's like social housing, or whatever it's called, Section 8 housing living. So that happens. Now, I also knew parents were going to be upset. This is totally out of the blue. So I signed the lease before telling them. Like, on the spot, just signed it. And then 2 weeks before I left, I told them, hey, I got to tell you something. I'm moving in 2 weeks to Oklahoma with Luke. We're going to make money online. Parents were not for it. Mom was crying. Dad was pissed. Not for it at all. Okay? So, long story short, ended up moving out in Oklahoma. Me and Luke get licensed. He starts selling about a month before I do. I get licensed. I actually passed it on my birthday. Start selling. It was rough. again, it was just super rough. We were not making any money. I moved there with about $15,000. We lived in Oklahoma for about 8 months. Now, just to sum it up for you, it came down to the point where we didn't know we were going to we're about to get evicted. So we were literally deciding if we should, we didn't know if we could like fill up our gas tank, get food, or buy a one-way ticket to Hawaii, because we didn't want to stay in Oklahoma because there really isn't much out there. Get a one-way ticket to Hawaii, and we literally were thinking about just kicking it on the beach in Hawaii, like playing a ukulele and just figuring shit out, like just being like cavemen out there. We had no idea. Yeah, we were broke. By the grace of God, we made some sales. This took a while for us to, especially me, it took a while for us to actually make some money off this. Like we were making like not shit at all. And I drained my bank account. Luke was a waiter out there a little bit as well. And when he moved out, he was trying to figure out what he wanted to do. He was a waiter, and he about $2,000 his name. I had like 15 or 16 grand. Now over the course of about 8 months we lived in Oklahoma, we drained it, and we were down to our skin and bones with this shit. Again, by the grace of God, made some sales and started looking in the right direction. Started clicking a little bit for us, more Luke than I, for sure. And finally started to click. So we had about $4,000 to our name. Now I think we had like a couple $100 at one point, maybe $1,000, maybe. And started clicking, we had like $4,000 to our name now. So our head's like above water, we can breathe. We're eating like rice and beans and shit. Like this is all starting to come back to me now. But we're literally eating like rice and beans and like Slim Jims and bananas for breakfast. Like we were fucking broke. So that happens. Got $4,000. We're like, bro, our environment is so bad. We got to get the fuck out of here. So where do we move? Daytona Beach. Why Daytona Beach? We love being by the water. It's warm. The environment's better. And Luke knew the area really well because he lived there in lineman school. Boom, Daytona Beach. Till this day, I absolutely love it. I love Daytona Beach. I would get a crib there. Not live there permanently, but I would definitely have a crib there sometime in my life or in the area. Love it. So we get a 20th floor, I don't want to say a penthouse, but it was like 2,000 square feet, beautiful view. Like we leveled up just so much from our Section 8 housing to this fucking penthouse. And it was fantastic. I loved it. And big, spacious, big bedrooms, bath. Luke had a fucking castle in his bathroom. It was amazing. And keep in mind, we only got like $4,000 to our name. Well, no, now we have like 2,500 or something because we had to put down a deposit. So kind of down to our fucking to nothing. All right, so that happens. Right when we get to Daytona, everything clicked for me. So at this point, I'm starting to. There's a fucking truck driving through the water. Thailand. At this point, I am making about $20,000. Or we both were. I think Luke's making like 10. I gotta remember all this. But I know for a fact I was making about 15, 20 grand a month selling insurance online. Okay, doing good. Now I'm feeling, and I'm 20 years old at this point. Yeah, 20. So I'm like, this is lit. Living in Florida, making money. We're like going out on the weekends, but still like working out. Like life was just good. So, long story short, we lived there. We ended up living in Daytona Beach for a year. Luke, I would say probably about halfway through, 6 months in, he's like, bro, I don't want to do insurance. He was actually going to move here to Thailand. He almost left and came to Thailand. He did a couple of different things online, like marketing and stuff, and he almost came here to Thailand. Like he was so close, but he decided not to because he wanted to keep living with me. He wanted to stick with me. So I ended up paying for everything. Like he wasn't making any income. I was making all the income. I was paying for literally everything. Our groceries, when we went out, our rent. Like I paid for everything, which I would do again any day in a heartbeat. Like that is forever. And I don't expect that in return. So I did that. Long story short, Luke goes home for like a week or so. He comes back like to our hometown, comes back to Daytona. I'm still selling insurance. He's like, hey, I'm going to get back into insurance. So gets back into insurance with a different company. It works a little bit different. There's captive and brokerage. I'm not going to get into it, but it works a little bit different. Long story short, he gets into there and he starts like cracking off, making some money. in the beginning, like getting like $4,000 like daily deposits. I'm like, what the fuck? So I ended up leaving that insurance company and joining him. And we were under a guy named Priamo, which, Priamo, if you watch this, you're a good ass dude. Priamo, good guy. We get under Priamo, and we leave and go to Miami, Florida. So now we lived in Daytona Beach for a year, got some money saved up now, moved down to Miami, Florida. So now we're 21 years old, living in Miami, Florida. And at this point, Miami, we really start making money. So now me and him combined are making like 20 G's a week. Like, we're bringing in bread. And again, life is just good. You're living in Miami, you're going out, you kind of do whatever you want. Got a good group of guys now, eating at these fanciest restaurants. I mean, this is fucking Miami, Florida, like the biggest city, one of the biggest cities in the world. And we're not really like partying, really. But we're just going out, smoking cigars. Like, we're just enjoying life, making stupid bread. We lived there for 6 months. Now, again, I might miss some of this story. I might say a couple things out of chronological order, forget a couple things. About, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, we're just frustrated with insurance because we're living in Miami, Florida. We're young, and we both know the only thing we can't get back in this life is time. Insurance is great. You can make a shit ton of money. We did make a shit ton of money, and I have nothing against it. But I just didn't want to be 30 years old and sell a brokerage and have any regret in life of not going out and just exploring more or following like a true passion. So one day, me and Luke are both frustrated, and a topic of conversation comes up of us actually leaving Miami, Florida, moving to Thailand. And we talked for like 3 hours. Same thing that kind of happened on the ring. We talked for 3 hours. We actually were like, you know what? I think we're going to do it. And that night we pretty much made a decision. I think we both knew in our hearts we wanted to go, but we ended up not really clarifying it. A couple days went by, and I remember telling each other, like, hey, if anything pops up, like any negatives, let's do some research. And keep in mind, we thought we wanted to move to Thailand right away because a year before that in Daytona, Luke was going to move here. So we already knew a lot about Thailand and the area. We knew a guy that lived and made content on this island. Well, not knew him, but we knew about a guy that lived and made content on this island that we stay at, Koh Samui. So we knew that he did a lot of research. So we, based off of his knowledge of it, this area, this island that we live on was good. A couple days go by, and we sat down and we're like, hey, let's do this thing. But we still had a couple months of our lease left. And we were debating if we should, we had 6 months of our lease left. So we're debating if we should break the lease, which ended up being, well, we did break our lease, or stick it out. But again, can't get time back. I can't get that 6 months back. So we did break our lease, dropped like 22 G's or 28 G's or something like that to break our lease. Then we moved back. We stopped insurance. We moved back home with our family for about 2 weeks. This is April. This is just a couple weeks ago. We moved back. My birthday is in April. Easter is in April. So we wanted to spend the time with family. Obviously, I let them know beforehand that we were going to move. And did that. And then, yeah, now we moved here to Koh Samui, Thailand after I saw my family. Kind of crazy. Story might be a little bit out of whack. But in a nutshell, that's kind of how my life has been the past couple years. Made a lot of money. Nothing wrong with insurance. Love doing it with Luke. But we just want something more, something better out of it. We just want to suck more out of life. So now I'm in Thailand going full in on content. So what am I going to post? I'm very big into combat sports. Thank God I joined that. I'm training Muay Thai 2 times a week, or 2 times a day, 6 times a week. I love discipline. I love mindset and how to think and how to just get the most out of life. So I'm going to be posting videos. If there's anything you specifically want to see, comment below and I'll obviously post them. But just, yeah, posting about Muay Thai and how to think and discipline and anything, just shit like that. And there might be different stuff I post as well. But I'll also post a lot on Instagram. It's Joey's Story. And yeah, I'm just going to run it up on here, post weekly. But that's pretty much my story. So this is kind of the introduction of who I am and what I'm going to be posting about and what I'm going to be doing and what I have been doing up to this moment here of me sitting on this beach. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Follow along. I'm going to keep posting weekly. If you want to see anything, comment down below. And yeah, welcome to the channel.